Welcome to Spruce Creek Farms. Very cold today, minus 26 Celsius when I got up this morning. We're gonna take a quick ride out to the sugar bush this morning. Yeah, let's go for a ride. That's awkward. Welcome to the back sugar bush. It's around 26 acres of maple bush, mostly sugar maples, a little bit of red maples mixed in. Sorry, my mouth is stuttering today. It is bitter cold out today. My lips are a little bit frozen. Let's go take a look. Got some fresh coyote tracks. Say hi, Alpine. Hi, Alpine. Welcome to Spruce Creek Farm Sugar Bush. What we're looking at over here is about 13 acres of sugar maples mixed in with maybe about 1% to 2% red maples. We try to identify all the red maples and we take those off the line earlier in the season because red maples, they tend to what we call bud out earlier in the season. So we take those off to keep the flavor of the syrup high quality. So as you can see, we run all 3/16 tubing here. We do have some buckets in different parts of the forest, but on this 13 acres, we're roughly all 3/16 tubing. So as you can see here, we just weave in and out of the trees. Not sure if you can see it all back there, but it's just a zigzag of tubing throughout this bush. Right now, we're looking at seven runs with around 25 taps on each run. So the most we'll tap on a tree is 2 taps. We do have an exception where we have some really large trees in the back, which we'll show you that we run 3 taps on, but very rarely do we run 3 taps per tree. This bush here is all on about a 2% grade down towards where we have our collection tank, which is down by the river over there. All these runs end in one spot. We actually add a vacuum to these lines. So these lines will actually create a natural vacuum. Not very much though, probably around 10 to 12 inches of vacuum. And this year with the addition of our SureFlow pump, we hope to bring that up to at least 18 to 20. Every additional inch of vacuum will just get us more production, more sap per tap. Right now we're down at our collection site where all 7 of the 3/16 tubing lines converge, and all down here. So when we're out of season, we cap off all the lines with just end caps. Just keeps air of the line. We do treat the lines at the end of each season. They all just tie up to this one large, kind of dead tree, but we're still hope it holds for another season or two. So right in this area here is where we keep the 1,000-liter tank that all the sap will drain into as it comes from all the taps uphill. Let's just take a walk up the trail. You can kind of start to see where they all start to divide up and go into different sections of the bush. You can see here we have some that are pretty high up, just to get over the trail. You can see here they're quite high. This is where we have 2 of them that we keep them together, and then all of a sudden they split off, and I believe this run here is about 1,000 feet long. So it goes up into the bush and weaves in and out to catch all the maples we can. There's those coyote tracks again. We try to keep a maximum of 25 feet between any type of tree that we're going to run the tubing against. As you can see, we don't actually have any type of wire or fastener to the tree. We're just using the tension of the tubing to keep it up against the tree, and using kind of like a weaving in and out, back and forth. Some of this tubing's been up for a year and a half, and it's moved very little. Come maple season, if we have to lift anything or tighten anything, we'll tighten that all up when we start tapping the trees. As we can walk up, you can see that we try and keep all the tubing together until we do decide to split off to get a different section. So here, I don't know if you remember that, if you noticed at the last tree we had 4 tubing, now we're down to 3. And if you look at over this tree over here, you can see where we split those 3 off. This one continues over that way, and those 2 continue on over there until they split off to go to a different area. We try to keep the trails groomed as much as possible, mostly just for the enjoyment. It is a beautiful day out today, just very cold. I'm wearing rubber boots. They're insulated, but not enough. Toes are a little cold. As you can see here, as we get over on the flatter area, you'll see the lines are starting to raise up a little bit. So this one here, we're looking at it's about 6 feet high. We always tried to tap on top of the tubing run, just to keep everything running downwards. Oh, this is interesting. I see a whole bunch of fresh coyote tracks. And you can see there was a little bit of some rustling around, all for this guy. All for this guy. And it looks like they didn't even finish him. All right, so here you can see the start of one of our 3/16 tubing runs. As you're wondering, why isn't there any tubing on it? Well, there is. It's just way up there. So this being on a relatively flat area of the land, as we kind of go along the river, the land is flat, but as we go down towards the river, the land drops about 30 feet. So if we wanted to keep all our collection points in the one spot, we kind of have to go parallel to the river and then turn the line and then go down the hill. So which means that our first runs over here, as you can see, we're about 8 feet high. So what we do is these ones will have to be tapped using a ladder. You can see the 2 drops in that line. And then all the way back down over towards the collection tank. If you guys have any comments or any questions, I am no expert by any means, but if you like watching these, I'm going to be doing a bit more, actually I hope to do a lot more videos on everything doing around the farm, not just maple syrup. A lot of stuff preparing for maple syrup, including firewood, getting the evaporator ready. We got some adjustments to do on the evaporator. We're adding a flow meter to the sap going into the evaporator this year. That'll be a fun little trial. But like I was saying, I'm no expert, so if you have any comments, you think that I'm not doing something right, or you think I can improve something, please leave a comment below. I'm always open to suggestions. Tell you the truth, I just love being out in the bush. This is where it all happens. This is where it all starts. The sugar bush. Every drop of sap coming from these trees will be collected using these series of 3/16 tubing lines, boiled down to make fresh maple syrup.